This guy is hot. He is so hot right now. Like, he is winning everything we had to see him in. He was the... I'm so excited for him to come to Canada. I know he doesn't have the name and the prowess of somebody like Dark, but I feel like he's got the skills to pay the bills, and he's going to give us great games.
Finally going to ask Impact if he realized.
Crank, can you ask him? Well, guys, we'll find out whether Crank asks him or if Impact knows or whatever. We'll be moving to the other semifinals, though, in a moment. It's going to be Solar versus Gumiho for ZVT, and this could be a long one, depending on what style Gumiho wants to play. But hey, Akarasi, thank you for the 36 months, man. He says, has it been 3 years already? Yeah, and only 2 since you saved our asses with a VPN. I've never forgotten, man. Thank you for that very much. Scatter SKT was a brand new Prime sub, and I know it was asked earlier, I want to differentiate replay packs really quick, because someone has, if I sub, do I get replay packs? So the answer to that is yes to everything else we do, but not for the Alima League. This is the only tournament we do not give replay packs out for. So if you sub, you will still get a ton of replay packs from everything else we cover, but the Alima League, the only way to get replay packs for is to do it through the Patreon. I think it's like $2 a month or $2 a week or something like that. You can check out the details on !Only Patreon if you want to get involved. But yeah, there's really good players every week and lots of replays to go around, so definitely worth the value. But if you decide to sub on Base Trade TV, whether it's with your hard-earned cash or maybe it's with a Prime sub, gotta fix that double echo at some point. At least over here, we will make sure that we send out replay packs on the somewhat regular. But thank you, Royal Prospecting, for the 1,500 bits. Much appreciated. That puts us at almost 50%. So, quick reminder, instead of playing commercials, we'll hop into this next semifinals. If we fill up the bit goal that we zombie up, get some love for today, I'll throw some free-for-alls at the end of the cast. Viewer free-for-alls. If the DreamHack Austin goal hits $100 by the end of the cast, same deal. Or, separately, if Quip ends up selling 3 brushes today, we sold 1, if we can sell 3 total, I will also do some free-for-alls with the viewers at the end of the cast. It's not that any 1 or 2 of those have to be, it's if any one separately, and any one of those goals get met, we'll do some free-for-all brawls with the viewers. And if they aren't met, not a big deal, we'll do it another time. But we are getting into game. And oh, quick note, if you do happen to buy a Quip brush, guys, do me a favor and let me know. The actual dashboard for this is not currently working. This is literally day 1. There's gonna be bugs to fix. The dashboard for this isn't working, so I can't actually see when people buy them because there's supposed to be this really big alert and it's not happening either. So if you happen to buy one, let me know. But anyways, we continue on with the Alima League. Crowdfunded and awesome as it is, it's the other semifinals match. Spawning to the bottom left, representing Splice, we have the Red Zerg Solar.
In the top right, as the Blue Terran, he is Gumiho.
I feel like less of a Gumi god, more like a Gumi demigod lately.
Yeah, that's true. He wins online tournaments occasionally, hasn't really gotten so far in GSL. Never found his glory after winning GSL. Like the actual, overall tournament, but still very good.
Another 100 bits coming from Grape Snake. Thank you kindly for that. I don't think Gumiho's gotten worse, by the way, either. I think a lot of what we see is pretty consistent, and I think for a lot of the Koreans, I judge them more on do they make mistakes or not on are they making innovative, cool plays? Because they will, sure. And Gumiho, I can't really recall any big glaring mistakes, for example, killing your own hatchery as an example. God damn, I'm still not. I can't. He's not making glaring mistakes, but people are beating him. So that just, to me, says, hey, everyone else is getting better. Gumiho was the standard to measure against, and yeah, people are growing where maybe he's not. And obviously, in time, he too will change things up. But a lot of it has to do with what playstyle versus Zerg he wants to go with. And I think we all know Mech is the one a lot of people lean towards, but Bio's looking really good nowadays.
Yeah, it is. I like Bio on Eastwatch, but I think the trend has been going away from Bio on here, which makes me really sad. And just going into Mech. Mech still abuses all the things that are abusable about this map, but without the super cool late game or even necessarily an easy late game, as there's a lot of avenues of attack for the Zerg. Usually the Mech player really starts to get pulled apart. Gumiho always felt to me the reason he won that GSL that he did was because at that time he was innovative, could play every single style available, and his mechanics were 100%. His mechanics were on par with the best. That's what it looked like anyways. Whereas I feel like mechanics have always kind of been his issue. So whenever I see Gumiho have all these like Marines that I don't expect, and I'm like, oh holy shit, like, he's really playing really, really well, that's when I get really hyped again. Because I know I can expect him to do interesting things. I know I can expect him to play both styles, but it's like, is he in that winning position where he just seems like a macro monster as well as a, how do you say, like a build order monster, I guess? Like a style monster? Sure, we'll go with that.
Well, it's
style
interesting.
god.
It's interesting you refer to it as like a winning position, because I feel like it's almost like a position of comfort too. Like, you can just get so stressed out playing very particular players, but maybe a couple of these guys, as good as they are, they're not as big of a problem. You don't lose them on the ladder as often, or you don't hit them in tournament brackets as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you do, and that's why you're so comfortable, because you know the play style even better. I mean, honestly, I don't know, but mentality is a big part of StarCraft 2.
It is, yeah.
Oh, and it is going to be bio, by the way. Ooh.
Nice. I'm pretty happy to see that. I think that this could lead to a very, like, you know, supreme late game scenario, which I think are very fun on Eastwatch. I think it's not necessarily fun for either player as it gets super stressful, but to watch it is really cool. And Solar is going to also be going for the macro game here.
I think this actually makes a bit more sense too. Gumiho I really like for his mech, and you could argue Eastwatch is a good map to do it on. But against Solar, like especially, I think it's maybe not the best option. He's proven already once by beating TY, because remember, TY was rocking mech, and if you can beat TY playing mech, you can probably beat Gumiho playing mech. So this style might just be better because of the opponent. And that kind of goes back a little bit to the comfortability thing.
A little bit. I also should note that Gumiho did something very greedy with this build. So this isn't just a typical like 3cc off of a Banshee into bio. He went for no starport, only 2 Hellions into 3rd CC, about as quick as you possibly can.
And he hit it too, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, it is very nice. So Solar, I mean, not in error, is going for a macro game. He could have scouted this and still gone for a macro game, but it's like the difference, I think, of getting, for instance, 20 Lings to deal with the Hellions instead of only making 4, which in this case, he must have seen the 2 Hellions and not much else. He even gets a scout on the 3rd location right here, right now. And he knew not to overmake Lings, to just make drones. Already a 4th hatchery on the way. Like, I think Solar is well prepared to deal with this build, where sometimes you see Zerg players already kind of fall behind because the Terran was just that greedy.
Yeah, it's tough because a gold base is obviously a bigger prompt to do something about, but I kind of feel like you can kind of let it go. You don't have to respond immediately. You can just do what Solar is doing and just continue to expand yourself, knowing that they're going to take some time and set up on this base, but he's picking up and he's going for a drop, and this is of course a couple of medevacs full of Marines. I'm not sure. +1 looks like it'll time for this attack, but not combat shields.
Solar could have potentially been surprised by this if he misjudged the timing, but with how fast the 3rd CC was and how fast the barracks were put down, it's around 6 minutes, and Solar is building Banelings right now. I think he already has enough Lings if he had literally caught the drop as it was happening.
Ooh, getting overloaded there was nice.
So. Oh, now he's gonna come in.
Yeah, he goes to pick up and get out though. While there are queens, this will limit the amount of times he can pull this off. He does still get out of there in one piece.
Not really. If it was a surprise, if Solar was thinking the drop would happen in the main or happen later even, this could have done a lot, but 2 medevacs usually meant to clear up some creep, get some scouting done. Big Ling run by.
Ooh, I love this move. I love this move to cut off reinforcements, but luckily Gumiho between a tank, a couple of Hellbats. I mean, if those Hellbats were about to supply depots. Ooh, that's a bit of a problem. Okay, the Marines get home in time for the drops to deal with this, but I love this idea out of Solar. So clever. Knock down the rocks so he could possibly get those kills, because it also means you can't run the SCVs home. They can't path back.
Huh. Yeah, that's very, very annoying. I don't think it's an awesome, like, I don't know if this is going to become the strategy of Eastwatch, right? It's going to dangerous to use that many Lings and potentially might just, you know, die. But this is like a cool maneuver. Doesn't lead up to very much. As the rocks are just going to be broken down now, and now Gumiho doesn't have to worry about the potential for later on. But a Hive's already on the way. Gumiho with a 4cc. He's going to have one decent pre-ultra push, maybe, and then it's going to be time to get into those Ghost Liberators.
By the way, here we go. Might not be Impact, but Solar is going to try and take advantage of the Overlords. 3 Banelings, though, won't really get that much out of this, I feel. Yeah, 2 SCVs? Ah, it's hardly worth it. If it was a bigger deal to distract a large portion of the army, you could justify that being good. And hey, surprise, surprise, ends up being worth it. Runby gets a cancel the command center. That tank could be scooped up in the medevac. Save it, save it, save it! There we go.
That's bad, not just, for obvious reasons, but because the rocks could have been broken down. And that would have saved the timing. But now Gumiho needs to put his 4th mountain location. This is second queen that
Oops, sorry, I apparently opened a clip I shouldn't have opened. Hearing Zombie go squeal really loudly. Yeah. Yep. The command center going down in the open, there's kind of an interesting spot too. This is kind of where you'd be rallying units, so it should be protected. It's just so weirdly out of position that he could actually take this base or this base.
Solar little opposition for this, but I don't know if this is really that. Okay, yeah, Gumi's gonna abuse this position.
Ooh.
That makes more sense. I think without the position here, it's not as great.
I kind of forgot to make the call for this, by the way, but Hive did finish up for Solar. He's on his way to Adrenal Glands. Vipers are out. Ultra Scavenger's not researching yet, but I mean, Gumiho, for all of his efforts to cause damage, really didn't manage to strike Solar when his weak spot was like that transition to Hive, right? As the classic spot is. And this bunker though, it's silly to look at, but I actually really like this.
Oh, that's nice. And the take on the high ground as well. Yeah, so I said Gumiho would have one, maybe decent push before Ultras, but it's not even that decent, to be honest. He's, really trying to make something happen, but it just doesn't... I don't... it's trying to make fetch happen here. He's got to just go into the next stage. He does get a base. I should say that's important, but Solar has 5 bases anyways.
A lot of creeps for the middle, too, though. If he doesn't lose his Marines, this ends up being pretty excellent for map control. But those Marines don't have an exit strategy and no medevac. So I said knock down the rocks as a possible escape path. That's cool. Meanwhile, this tank is just shelling away. 18-something kills now.
Solar really wants to make these Baneling drops work.
I guess referring it as fetch seems to be the right option. Marines pop out of it to try and grab the Overlord. Gotta get back inside after, though. Focus fire was cute. This did no damage. This was so... Gumiho, you lose this game, I'm fine with it, dude. You've done so many cool things. I really like it.
He's definitely reacted very quickly. More barracks coming down. I think we should also see either another Starport or a Ghost Academy. Seriously, either one. It's time.
A couple things to note, too, by the way. Upgrades. Big disparity in upgrades right now. Gumiho's finishing his 3-3, and Solar's kind of, on his way to +2 weapons.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The other cool thing that Gumiho's been doing a lot of, that unfortunately I don't know if he'll be able to do again, is he's making great use of the terrain, right? Knocking down a lot of the rocks, using them as kind of escape paths, especially down here. But while he gets ready to take a fight out in the front of Solar's base, Solar can knock down these rocks, wait, and then use this attack. And this attack, Planetary's not going to stand, I don't think. This is Adrenal Glands against no building armor.
A little too much. I would have loved for Gumiho to throw down much earlier at Center Towers. This fight does not go that badly, though. The Parasitic Bomb even goes on the microback medevac there.
That was surprising, actually. I thought that Gumiho was going to get completely smushed. But double kills, no cancel. Ouch. Oh, it's mostly mules, but still, ouch.
Yeah. Sensor Tower was a little too late and not even in the right position. He puts it in the middle where he's his one side protected by Supply Deep, his other side is protected by the Planetary. That is usually where the trickiness comes into, but to play, but he needed it on the actual Planetary. I think he could have absolutely saved it if he just rallied his units.
Yeah, I think one of the clearer issues there too is maybe he thought the rocks were still down. I should check his vision. No, he didn't. So that was just actually bad. Never mind.
Gumiho is finally on his way to Ghost, but after losing a Planetary and a Command Period, he lost 800 minerals right there, plus some, actually, Planetary. It's going to be difficult to afford the late game. He needs to basically stop trading. He can't stop doing something. You just can't do that. You're going to get counterattacked, but he needs to not lose any more units. That's going to be really tough to do. Well, but it seems possible. Mass Marines for now, not many Marauders, but behind the brush. with the, he knows what's behind that. Like, he holds.
It's kind of crazy to look at because Gumiho has not had the best fights in this game, but he has traded out resource-wise like a lot more efficiently.
I think the fights have gone, like, the last one we saw when he was on the aggressive, that was pretty damn good. And then he's had a lot of trades, the Banelings not doing any damage to the SCV line. There's like 3 instances of that.
But for example, right, like he's only just now been prompted into Ghosts. He wasn't forced to do like a lot of really crazy things this game. And I think that's a lot to do with the way he's been controlling the map. Like, creep spread is still not really made it past the halfway point. It's kind of doing it now, but for Solar, who's been in and out of Gumiho's base like a dozen times, this creep should have been much further across. But Gumiho was doing drops specifically to kill it, to cull it, to keep it from pushing in. And he had a lot of really good map control, and I loved all this, but he's kind of given all that up in the last few minutes.
Well, he really, I think he had to. I think he needed to stop, as I said, trading, and that meant, like, you couldn't really potentially lose a drop or a doom drop. That was just gonna go very poorly. Right now with 4 bases, basically, it's kind of questionable. But with 4 bases, he can get maxed out if nothing happens. But even loses his body boost over here.
This bunker actually kills so many more Zerglings than it would have otherwise. That was actually super nice. Lift the command center. Doesn't need to lose too much though. Gumiho should be able to minimize losses. SCVs all got pulled out of there.
Yeah. No, he'll still have the space, but it's mostly mined out, and he doesn't have another command center turned to a planetary on the front line. So that's going to be hard to hold for him. Oh, I guess. Orbitals.
Yeah, the extra orbitals, I guess more mules is more power? I don't know.
I think one of them should have been left alone, turned to a planetary later. Oh well.
That's kind of what I thought he was doing.
Doing some great work. Nice abduct,
though.
Oh
my god. Well, he went down with 62 kills. That guy did work this game.
He did. That's a lot of ghosts.
A lot of uncovered ghosts, so this is risky, but oh, if he grabs all these kills, this is super nice, worth the snipes.
There we go.
Oh, and Roddy. Roddy comes with a monster host.
Oh, God. Oh, save him, save him.
Oh, no, he's so low. Get him out, get him out, get him out. Oh, my God. All right, well, guys, we got a quick moment of breathing. Big thank you to Rotterdam for that 700 viewer host. Yo, what's up, Roddy fans? I hope you like Rotterdam. He's actually going to be casting with us here in the near future for the People Images StarCraft League Season 2. And Roddy's been actually a beast streaming every single day, so thank you very much for that host, man. You guys are tuning into the late game. It's the semifinals of the Alima League. And it's game number 1 in the second semifinal set. 21 ghosts for Gumiho. Are looking to fight back against the Ultras, Infestors, and soon-to-be Broodlords.
Sounds like a name of a movie. 21 Ghosts for Gumiho. Tale of just gambling and...
Just 21 ghosts. What was that? It was like 27 candles or something? Like...
Yes?
Question mark? Okay, well, anyways, 21 ghosts would be my movie name.
Okay, alright. Okay. And it's just about ghosts. It's just about a lot of ghosts.
Wait, wasn't there actually 13 ghosts?
What was there? What was it about?
I don't know, can you Google this?
Okay, fine.
This Marine sees no attack coming from the south side, which is nice, but also saw no creeps for going out this way. I think. Oh, god damn it. Canadian productions are always the worst, to be honest. Like, everyone comes to Canada to film in Vancouver, and it's great, but Canadian production companies are like just the worst.
This plot summary is way too long. There's no TLDR.
Dude, the TLDR is like there was an extra ghost and they didn't realize. There you go.
Is that really it?
Spoiler alert! The ghosts do need to fall back, though. It's a lot of Banelings coming here. We're talking rogue numbers. He was on 50 Banelings for the start of this fight. Pushing right back through the tanks. The ghosts haven't got a chance to fight. They've been so busy running. And I just realized he didn't even have cloak for this. It's only like a quarter way done.
Oh, they're tanking a surprising amount. But the command center went down, SCVs went down. The ghost ended up living, which is shocking with how many Banelings there are. Gumiho still takes the overall worst trade as he can't chase down these broodlings, lords.
I wonder if it's better. Ooh, bit of a pause. I'm wondering if it's better to move this command center over as a planetary or just get this going now to get back on that mining train. Like, Gumiho, for however the ghost did at the end, look at the current resources and look at the current supply. And that's what makes this brutal, I think, for Gumiho.
Yeah. He saved the most important units, I suppose, the ghosts, but he's not on a huge amount of production or economy to instantly remake the bio.
It's interesting the scans keep going during the pause, by the way. Because we can see that they're not animated, but on the minimap they are.
I would say Blizzard should fix that, but that would break something more important.
Yeah, Blizzard would fix this, and like all of a sudden, there's no more countdown from recover replay or something.
It just instantly goes.
No, thank you. Well, quick look at the units lost just while we're on the pause screen. As we can tell, it's mostly been Zerglings. The Baneling number here is not really indicative, though, because there's been a lot of actually really great connections. So this Baneling, like the overall Banelings loss is probably like double. But right. I think what's key, Solar did, I think, in another game where Gumiho was a little more aggressive, and he kept, not even more aggressive, more successfully aggressive, like killing these bases up here. Solar doesn't actually have the money to recover off that, because that was, again, that's like, what, 50 Banelings he gave away to reach through that and trade out for the tanks and the Marines? That's not very, you can see that reflected in the resources lost down here. Like, this was such an expensive engagement for Solar. But thank God he had the bank. He remaxes 86 Zerglings. That's a lot of those are going to be Banelings too.
Yeah. I think at this point of the game, like, you really have to be harassing with nukes, for instance. But Gumiho was stalled out in some very important moments. The extra command centers dying like they did, the planetary being caught off guard, because he could have saved it if he just knew the attack was on the way. Those are pretty integral moments to the pacing of the game. And, you know, Solar was able to really explode an economy.
Oh, no, boys. Well, luckily he made all the Corruptors into Broodlords. So those Medivacs will get out of there barely.
Yeah.
Cloak will finally be done for one of these engagements. Now, there's not really a lot of Overseers, but there's enough that it's not going to be easy to get away with cloaking.
It's gonna ghost drop? What? Okay,
no,
just a mistake. Alright then.
Oh, it's a lot of Banelings. The one like small bit of solace here, right? Ghosts are not light units. They do not take bonus damage from Banelings, and they've got 100 health. But if you got 50 Banelings and they're all splashing, who cares?
I do love the tank positioning, but I don't know if there's enough of them. Because you're right, it's just like, it's so many Banelings and Lings. You really need mass amount of bio and tanks, not necessarily ghosts. And maybe some Ravens would have helped too, but...
Oh god, the ghosts got obliterated.
Mate.
There's not enough left over. They start, well actually, hold on, they stealth. The Overseers weren't here, so the Broodlords couldn't reach, and now the Ghosts snipe the Broodlords.
There's an Overseer tagging along. The Vikings are now a huge issue, as only Queens are here to take them out.
Planetary holds on the ground. Oh my god. Oh my god, he holds Gumiho, taking 2 impossible defenses back to back. But
I don't care.
I don't know if that's still enough to win this game. Down on 29 SCVs, he still doesn't have that 4th base up. Like, yo, he's doing some great stuff, but this is how I feel like we watch Mana die a lot. The guy goes down in a blaze of glory and he looks unkillable until he finally is.
Oh yeah, Gumiho really can't afford to replace that bio. I honestly feel kind of lucky he was able to get up to like even 100 supply with that fight, and he still got just absolutely trounced. So this next fight's gonna be it.
There's this line from an anime I really enjoy called Katana Gatari. First off, great anime if you guys haven't seen it. But it really applies to Gumiho here, where it's like, just because you won't die if I kill you, doesn't mean you won't die if I keep killing you. Eventually he's gonna run out of lives. And like, these defenses in the terrain have been so good, but limited resources, limited army supply is in for some trouble.
I don't know what Solar's waiting for to build
You know what? Solar has taken such bad engagements. I can totally understand not wanting to go in with anything shy of the full might of your army. By the way, have you heard of that anime I just mentioned, by the way, or no?
No.
One of the most notorious things about it ever did, so trolly, was first off, each episode came out 1 month at a time. 12 episodes in total. They made the preview for like next episode, like episode 3, look so epic. Like, it was gonna be the craziest anime fight in the history of anime. And then episode 4 finally airs, and they're like, the episode starts with going, huh, this sure was a tough fight, wasn't it? Yep, glad we got through it. Like, the biggest fucking troll of all time. It was so good, so angry. Ling Renbai attempts to hit the top side, not gonna be successful. Again, like Gumiho, I actually, like him in this map, I'm loving it. He's absolutely taking advantage of positioning, whether it's, again, from the rocks early on to the tanks here in the late game. I'm just heartbroken he doesn't have the money to keep this up, because I want to see more. I don't want this to end in the next attack.
It never really like set in, but now it is. Gumiho is at these good army supplies because his work count is just so damn low. It's always like, how is he getting above 100 army supply? His overall supply just seems like it's in the gutter, and it's still, well, it was. Now it's looking okay. After all the mule drop, being able to get another base up kind of temporarily without Solar's knowledge. But it's because he's been 38 SCVs, just muling on 5 orbitals.
Yo, are there no corruptors again? I really need Gumiho to scan for this and realize that this would be the one rare time Vikings would be okay.
Yeah, and he's trying to get to Vikings. I think he did realize that. It's just he never, again, like he was hit at such an important moment. I feel like if this was not a situation where he lost those 2, the planetary, the orbital, and then lost a bit of an army fight, that he would have had 2 extra starports already, and he would be producing 6 Vikings or 4 Vikings and a Raven at a time. Instead, he has to crawl his way up here.
Well, this is a problem for Solar, and I think Gumiho will take more than a good defense this time if this will be the case the way I think it will be. Because Solar might have 88 workers, but the same amount of time it took him to remax his army, Gumiho was able to match that. And now up 40 army supply, cause and effect of having less workers, means he's got more units to die to the Banelings. He's got more units to lose to a parasitic bomb and still come out swinging. And as long as those ghosts get through it at the end of the day, Gumiho will prevail. 13 ghosts is far less than the 21 we saw earlier, but yo, 8 tanks and 50 marines. This time around, there's not 50 Banelings going into this. This is mostly Broodlords. Marines are actually not bad in this situation.
I guess what Gumiho, or what Solar's gonna try and do, is get a fungal on the ghosts, and then just, like, he basically overmakes Broodlords, and then hopes that the kill move happens because of it, right? Like, he's not really looking for, like, that fine, tight, like, micro battle of Corruptor Viper versus Viking Raven Ghost. Like, I think he's just gonna go for this brute force. Gotta hope a fungal works.
I really love that he chose to auto attack with the ghost just there. That clearing out the Zerglings was huge. This allows the tank to also position down here and now cover this base as he could possibly expand there as the game progresses.
Okay, he's not gonna go for the snipes.
It's risky. I don't like this. I actually really wish Gumiho had a nuke prime for this and be able to stop the spore crawler line.
But... me too. I wish he was doing nukes at all. Like, Solar, he's not getting harassed, so he's expanding everywhere, which he absolutely should, but the snipes are coming down. The Banelings are right there. No fungal happened at all. Finally does. After a lot of snipes went off.
Too late. All the Banelings gone. Gumiho now up 40 supply once again. Almost no ground support for these Broodlords. I mean, I guess the spore crawlers will delay the push, and the fungal growth slows it down, literally. But snipes are still going off, and Broodlords are still dying, and Solar, I guess he's got a bank, but, you know, Gumiho is winning this fight decisively. No
Solar,
way.
if he had like 20 Banelings left over, probably be able to take care of this. As Gumiho is moving on to creep. He's been muling so hard, maybe he doesn't have a lot of scans. Nah, not really banking a ton of scans, but he definitely has some.
I can't believe it. Gumiho's like really making this look doable from a position of almost dead twice in a row. But the resources lost has been growing up. It was like 5k, then like 15k. Now it's like a 20k difference between the two of them.
I mean, I guess he always kept the ghosts alive, and they're so expensive, so like slow to make too.
How many has he lost? Just 21. Only 21 for this much damage. That's actually impressive.
Yeah, considering how often they were the only thing left over. Actually, that does make sense. But he's also able to get the orbitals down, which I just never thought he was gonna be able to do.
I don't think the Marines are in the right spot for this fight, though.
Oh no!
We can't cursed it. Oh, the ghosts are gone. Well, hold the phone, folks. He still have 20 supply. Can he kite the rest of this down? I mean, Broodlords are slow, and this army's overextending. Those infestors are out of juice. Gumiho still has, like, it's not. They're gonna tickle the Ultras, right? But they're still gonna deal damage to them.
Well, tickle the Ultras and not be able to reach the Broodlords is the problem, right? They actually. Oh my God! Wait, they lost the high ground vision, or they got tapped. Either way, the ghosts do end up dying, not getting any of the snipes off. Blinding Cloud, pretty effective right there.
Blinding Clouding Marines is not something you see too often, folks.
It works.
That's
it. We were just like, you're so close to praising Gumiho's comeback, and it still ended up being that he never got the best composition possible. He was only relying on those ghosts.
It doesn't matter who won that game, because that was an epic as fuck game, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, all I can really just say is thank you, Solar and Gumiho. But that was game 1. We have more to go. This is the second semifinal, so if you just came in from Roddy's stream, we still have the grand finals to go through after this. But of course, big shout out back at Roddy. So we're in the game, we couldn't really do it. Like I said, Roddy's streaming every day, and he does it at like lots of different hours too. Hashtag Passion Lord. So if you're not already following Roddy on Twitch, guys, make sure you go do it. Because of course his commentary is nice to hear too. I guess we have to kind of play a commercial break. It's a bit awkward because we lost the last one on the stream farting out. So we'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Game number 2 when we get back. Hey folks, welcome back. We skipped past the intros so that you wouldn't miss any of the gameplay as we hop directly into Blackpink. Thank you for watching that commercial break. I know it was a little out of the ordinary, but yeah, that stream crash earlier kind of sucked. But thank you for watching. Spawning here at the top right, he's down a game at the moment. Playing for Storm Gaming, we got Gumiho.
The bottom left was the blue Zerg. He is Splice Solar.
Solar is showing us some pretty good games today. I mean, I'm not exactly super rooting for ZVZ finals here, guys. I would love for Gumiho to pull this back and have like Gumiho Impact in the finals. But Impact and Ragnarok was actually a really entertaining series, so I wouldn't mind seeing how Solar measures up to Impact.
Impact not only has been like dominating in a lot, like all the matchups, just getting farther and farther and consistently more in the finals of tournaments. It's been a lot off his ZVZ. That's where I first was like, oh, well, shit, like this guy's actually pretty good. Because Ragnarok's ZVZ is also probably his best. And the fact that Impact keeps beating him in very close series is not, oh, 2 B team players or whatever going at it and barely like glancing off each other. It's like 2 of the best, maybe, ZVZers that we get to see in online tournaments, constantly battling that out. I think Solar would have a very tough time against Impact.
Yeah, plus I'm just, again, that Impact hype, that Impact momentum, man. So good right now. Like, what's that Mugatu thing from, like, so hot right now?
Exactly.
Zoolander has some of the best memes. Hey, real quick, by the way, I know we just gave Roddy a big shout out and big love for that host. Lupa also came back for 43 months. So that was during that game, man. We missed a lot of stuff during that game. Anton Caridian as well for the 49 months. It's just, that was such an awesome game number 1.
Yeah. Almost bringing it back, but Gumiho never got to, I think, he was taking these engagements a lot because Solar was, having to go around an awkward bend. He never quite could grab all the ghosts, and that all happened correctly at the final fight. That's why it looks so one-sided. But Gumiho with his micro made it look that close as well. And if he had Ravens, if he had a bit more time, time to get gas specifically, because I think that's what he was low on, and he got Ravens, and he got enough tanks to cover him, and he got Planetaries to help out. Like that's still a very, very long game, but he was always on the back foot.
I mean, the thing too is like, here's that question of like, why wasn't he dying? 2 big fights, third one like finally solidifies it, but Terry, thank you for the 420. Says thanks for all the content, letting me troll. No timeout so far. Hashtag feels good, man. And on that note, I do want to just quickly address something here in chat. Not that I feel the need to defend myself, but this is a point that I share an opinion on with not many others, I feel. But I think some of the people in chat might agree with me. So, the question of Rifkin's ability to judge game fights and all this is coming into play. And that's a fair point. I will say there are sometimes I make a call and immediately afterwards I'm making the like tug in your tie, like, ooh. Like, that was wrong. But then a lot of the times too, it's just for the excitement of it. You can go into these things oblivious. Like, yes, I'm gonna know that like an Adepts are gonna kill a Hydra fight, right? But if I'm like, oh, is it gonna work? Is it gonna happen? It's a lot more exciting. And I'm not gonna pretend like I lie about it. I genuinely lose myself to the hype for things. And I think it's a much more interesting thing. I'm gonna give you some contrast here and hopefully with objective criticism and not like an insult. Katz is a caster I don't like because a lot of the time he just says it's over and then there's nothing to talk about. And I find those casts not the type of thing I want to put out and not the type of thing I want to listen to. So different strokes, different folks, and that's my style. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. You're open to have your own opinion. But you want to press that opinion through like 7 different messages, and you get timed out for it, don't be super surprised you got timed out for it is all I can really say.
Yeah. I don't know. First of all, like, there's so many better ways to put it if you don't actually mean to be an asshole. So like just learn how to be like a proper human being, right? And then like 2, like I think that's just the wrong thing. Like there are many things you can call out commentators about that are actually like facts, and they'll be like, yeah, right, that is a weak point of mine. I don't know much about PvP. But that, like, I think that actually is just the wrong thing to call you out about. Like we discuss, we hype, we argue sometimes. One person ends up being right, the other person doesn't. But like there's never any point where I was just like, man, Rifkin called that so poorly. Good God, because you never actually call it, you just discuss possibilities.
Yeah, I like discussing hypotheticals because I'm so excited about StarCraft still, and I think, yeah, I'm a kid with puppy dog eyes or something. I don't know. I get really excited watching what happens genuinely, truly. And when I say I lose myself to the hype, it's not like so I can lie to the audience. I'm like, oh, this could go any crazy way because players can fuck up all the time. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And again, if that's not your flavor, oh well.
I do have one thing to add to that too, but I do it after the Hellbat Cyclone attack. It's a very small attack, but it is like these very like complicated units, right? If you only had Lings or only Roaches, maybe it wouldn't be that great, but he has both and he has enough of them too that Gumiho's not really going to commit.
Unfortunately, Cloak is available, but I was going to say, you know, if this attack didn't commit but distracted, these Banshees could run away with a lot. Hell, even just picking up the Extractor would go quite the distance, but he just backs up on both fronts. And that's the better choice here because he was not going to get anything done committing. He would have just died.
Yeah. And we have a macro game. So the last thing I wanted to note was, as someone who's been experimenting more and more with like play-by-play casting, just having to like complement different co-casters and stuff, it's really, really difficult to be the play-by-play guy and always get accredited to calling the fights right. Because that's like literally what you're not even supposed to do as like the hype man. You're supposed to say it as it's happening, take kind of guesses, and then your partner who gets to sit there and watch it unfold while looking at the income and looking at the mini-map and looking at the production tab, they come in and say like, well, I think that didn't work because of X or Y. But to expect the guy who's literally calling the action as it happens to be 100% correct all the time, I really feel that frustration the more that I try to do it.
Yeah, I'm really not bothered by it. It's just it became such a big topic in chat because the guy got timed out, and that was the bigger thing I was more focused on. To be
literally
honest.
purged 1 second.
Yeah. And for the people who are like talking about Cats, like I really think Cats is a really fucking intelligent person, and he's great at running a team, and I love him for a million other things. I just personally don't enjoy his casting. It's the one small thing. So I already see some people trying to blow this up into a bigger thing. It was just an example because I think he's the most contrasted foil to the way I do things. I can't think of any other commentator who's as opposite to me as him.
Right. It's a bit of a, like, it's kind of a pro gaming stereotype, actually. The pro gamer cast stereotype where they just kind of call things.
And then correct themselves. And
yeah,
actually, we started teasing Uncanny at this towards the end of the cast when we were doing the best of 69, but he kept addressing a lot of things like, as a player, like just casually throwing it. I'm like, it's not a shield. You can't just throw that around. You can be wrong. You're allowed to be wrong.
No, definitely not. That's an unfortunate scan. I missed the correct creep tumor, but
you know what, though?
For the creep.
Not really bringing it up to big emphasis, but hyping up the fact that it is mech. Bio was a great choice, and I love the way Gumiho played that game 1. But I think like the map may have been a little bit worse for Wear. Plus Solar's like good at the late game, but I like Gumiho's mech a lot, and I think this map complements him well for it. He's gonna be able to cover his ass pretty well. There's some awkward depots for now, whatever. But you know, Gumiho's the guy who grandfathered, not even grandfathered, he like invented this double Thor drop, and everyone copied him afterwards. And he knows what he's doing with this style of play. I feel better than Bio, and that's not to say he doesn't know how to play Bio. It's just Gumiho for years has been playing mech.
Yeah. In the Thor drops, like he thought he could have gotten the 4th. He scanned ahead, seeing there's no army. Could have also gotten a couple creep tumors, but the 4th looked kind of juicy. And I'd say that often against like even some of the really good Zerg players, like we see the 4th base immediately go down to Thor drops that are like perfectly timed, but doesn't grab it. But still the Thor is alive. Is even maybe considering doing a push as Solar's little split here. Maybe he could find a good trade. Okay, yeah, he's gonna do a push. And Solar does not see this necessarily coming. Yeah, he doesn't. He's gonna kind of run into it, but awkwardly. It's a bit awkward.
This fight is kind of hard to take. I guess getting away from the tanks means less chance they'll be sieged up, and then like Solar could pick off the Hellions and keep cutting back, but he runs out of actual place to run. So turns around to fight, and fight goes not too badly. Blinding Cloud's also coming just in the nick of time. Those tanks get covered, and this fight is gonna go in Solar's favor. But even as he counters for the push, it's, oh god, the Banshee's just picking off everything.
These Banshees might just save Gumiho's 4th base. Because I don't know if Solar could like win the game off of this, but and even this is nice. Gumiho being aggressive with very few units on the high ground probably makes it better than defensive on the even ground. So that was nice too, but the 4th could have been in trouble.
I feel like he picked up like just enough Hydras too to really strip the power out of that attack. There's only like 3 or 4, but 3 or 4 against smaller units like this is kind of a big deal. Or smaller amounts of units, excuse me.
Very nice positioning. Gumiho, as I said, I believe it was him that started to pioneer this Cyclone thing, but I mean, there's always that question of we don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, practicing just custom games. Like, we don't see everyone's ladders, right? But in tournaments, I did see Gumiho do this first, and then TY did it earlier today. Ended up losing his mech games versus Solar. They didn't really look to be the best, but they did help sometimes. And in this case, Gumiho gets it as like, oh no, never mind. Just kidding. This was Cyclones. I thought he was gonna get it in case he needed it, but he goes into Cyclones too. So, still questioning the style of play. And I say that, but I did mention TY went for Cyclones at BlizzCon. I felt like it was in a different way than what Gumiho has been doing lately. He seemed always specifically targeted towards the Broodlord transition. But, yeah, I don't know.
Again, I know this probably works in ladder play, and I've heard the hypotheticals from a couple different Terrans on why this works, but I don't think we've cast a game where Cyclones win it.
Not that they win it. I guess TY won once with Cyclones in his army on Backwater.
Yeah, but those weren't really like...
Right.
Alright, anyways, +3 weapons didn't finish up. A lot of damage in the Terran army, no doubt about that, but how's he going to use it? The Cyclones do have their upgrades, by the way, guys, so they're going to be able to get those extra shots through the rapid-fire shots. Awesome, nice, cool, great, but again, the Cyclones, and I don't have a lot of faith in them. I love this tank line that's been established, though. He's going to start moving in and I think collect himself as he gets through the middle of the map. A really big thing for Gumiho here is Solar doesn't have a lot of creep spread on his side yet, but Solar's been trying. He's been creeping him really aggressively.
That he is. That's usually the one nice thing about mech is that you can kind of bully forth, whereas Bio would be like already siege their tanks, hesitantly stepping forward with a couple Marauder or something like that. But you can only go so far where you have to start worrying about being too clumped up and Vipers appear. Where are they, by the way? Off to the side. They do have quite a bit of energy. So you have to be very careful with this.
Well, on the other side, while he puts up this almost false pressure, I want to say, this gives him the freedom to get 3 CCs up, the extra starports he needs. He's not going to find himself without production this game, which is going to be really nice. Because we talked about it last time, right? Like, oh, it's only 2 Vikings at a time because that's all he could do.
Yeah, and this is kind of, so last game I said that there was that important moment where he was just kind of cut, and it was probably the most important moment where he should have had this nice economy, he should have had more production. That happened when he played Bio. Let's compare it now to TY's game versus Solar, where this kind of thing kind of happened again, where TY tried to get extra command centers, was maybe going to go into extra starports, and his command centers got killed, his army got killed. If Gumiho could take a decent engagement here, which he absolutely should.
No, President Bomb. Okay, Microsit out of the army, that's nice. But these Vikings need to get out of here. They pick off a couple of the Overseers, and that's cool, but they'll just get picked off by the Hydras for nothing.
So I said he should take an okay engagement, and he did. That was pretty good. Kind of glancing off each other there. Now he has all these extra bases that are done, and he has all the production to go into, and he's not worried about losing right now because he took a bad fight. So this should go into a later game or even later game.
I'm wondering how many of those are orbitals versus planetaries. 1 for 2, maybe? I don't know. Let's start transferring these around the map. Try to get this one on location. Was bold. Ravager's not being microed at all. Could have stalled this out really hardcore. While this goes on, some really big news dropped in Twitch chat. The one, the only, the terrible at Dark Souls at 3 a.m. Yes, I was watching that stream. Sheezel has announced his grand return to StarCraft today. Prepare your anus. Oh, it's been prepared for months, dude. I've been waiting.
Okay.
I was like, you know, I was with you when we were
preparing for months.
When we were unifying against chat, I was with you, but not on this one.
I mean, you just told me you're paying your butthole for months. Just like, I really wonder what that entails.
It entails entrails. By the way, this, I guess, is kind of nice. With the Cyclones, not quite the speed of Hellions. They do have a faster response time than tanks and Thors. So, yeah, some mobility with the... Whoa. The only time Cyclone Anti-Air looks good. So mobility will be great to help defend, but oh, he's gonna get parasitic bombs. He's gonna get blinding clouds. He tries to pick off the Vipers, but the Vikings have to land to dodge the parasitic bomb, and Gumiho will hold his position. He'll stand his ground.
All right, no breaking there. Solar is going to start having to mix up his composition. No Sensor Towers yet, but tanks here.
I think easier said than done for Solar to mix this up. Like, he's got to make up for upgrades. You know, went for +3, which was awesome. And ooh, the Cyclones from the backside will make sure these Hydras can't retreat. But his melee upgrades are really far behind. So as he does want to start getting other things out, the upgrades for them are going to be not exactly well timed. That being said, he did manage to deny the base down to the south and to the north. So Gumiho, he's got extra command centers, which is nice, but he's got to get these buildings out.
Yeah. This push could do well. I mean, he does have a lot of Vikings, a lot of Thors, some Cyclones even, and if the Broodlords allow themselves to be pounced upon by the Cyclones, they do look okay. That little extra bit of damage really complements the Thor's like slow but impactful damage.
Oh, catching some of this. There's Ravens in the mix too. Watch out for the anti-armor missiles.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
Blankets the entire Zerg army, -3 armor to every unit that's currently orange. Basically resets their upgrades in a lot of these cases. The Vikings, unfortunately, they can't really get in here to pick up the Broodlords, but they get the Vipers! No more blinding clouds, and no more parasitic bombs to worry about.
Corruptors come in at the last second, trying to take out the rest of the Vikings.
No, but the Thors are like, what's up?
They're going to a
pick them out of
choke.
the sky.
Oh.
No more Corruptors.
That might just be it, actually.
Top side.
More Ravens. More Cyclones coming in, and this is where Cyclones are very useful. There's something on the ground to take them out, so they can just really fire away.
Oh my
add
God.
a little bit of extra damage.
Wait, are Cyclones... Is that a physical attack or a spell attack? Like, do they get benefits of, like, +3 from the -3 armor? Oh
yeah,
my God.
that's why you get +1 with Cyclones, right?
Maybe. Dude, that's where they get super so...
Oh, you're talking about the air attack.
The
You know, I
anti-air,
don't know.
yeah.
That is a good question.
That's what I meant, the lock-on abilities I was talking about. Like, I don't know if that counts as a physical attack or a spell. Regardless, Gumiho is running away with this game, and I'd love to attribute this to the Cyclones and get super hyped for it, but those Thors did goddamn work at the end there, sniping off so many of those Corruptors that came in. Oh, hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Moji Moj?
Well, that's a lot of Hydras that come back, but there's still enough tanks to truly scare them. They have to... The Thors don't necessarily take out the Hydras that fast, but they would provide quite the health buffer, and a hatchery goes down. Solar is not really to give up yet. The supply is still even, but not the army supply. Definitely have the armor supply now. Well, alright.
Of course, both players have exhausted their banks rebuilding. So let's get tap out. We're going to get ourselves a tied series. Game number 3. Also, Terrarian in chat asks, did we know that the Star 2 multiplayer is out? It's in beta, and oh boy, it can be super frustrating to play with your friends, guys. I thought it was going to be good times. It involved a lot of yelling, and why are you wasting all of our money? I warn you, if you play that with friends, you may walk out of that with one less friend.
I play Risk and Battlestar Galactica all the time.
I love Stardew Valley. Harvest Moon was like my one passion growing up. Like, it wasn't math or making friends. It was playing for Harvest Moon. Yeah, dude. Get those harvest elves to upgrade my tools so I can harvest more efficiently.
Thankfully, when the apocalypse comes, we'll have a whole generation of people that know at least something about farming.
Yep. I got you.
Yes. I know strawberries grow in the winter. Or something.
Or in a greenhouse if you buy one. So it can grow all year round.
Hey.
And I'm pretty sure parsnips grow in 4 days in real life.
Harvest Moon is really the worst reward system, I swear to God. Like, when you really think about it, like, the reward system is, you know, you save enough to buy a cow.
Stop. Whatever you're gonna say, don't ruin this for me, please. I beg you. I love this game.
You save enough to buy a cow, you save enough to buy a chicken farm, you save enough to buy, like, an automated whatever. It's just like, you're farming. You're progressing levels in farming. Why is it so fun?
My headphones are off, by the way. Raise your hand when you're done killing my childhood.
I didn't kill your childhood. Chat can attest to me not killing anyone's childhood.
Okay. Then I apologize for throwing off my headphones in a fury of non-spoilers. But okay, Catalyst is coming up next, folks. We're gonna hop into game. See you on the map. right, getting into game number 3, ace match time. If you got it, spam the emote before Rickman decides to get rid of it for no good reason, as he did everything else recently. Spotting here to the lower right, it's Psystorm Gaming's Gumiho.
In the top left is the Red Zerg. He is Splice Solar.
Oh my god, Terrorine actually just hit the nail on the head. The worst part about the Stardew multiplayer is trying to get everyone to go to bed, because you can't sleep before anyone else. So it's like 3 out of 4 waiting on one more player, and it's like in the fucking mines, and he's like, it's only 1 a.m. Why are you guys in bed? Oh my god, it's the worst. If Mr. D-Roy tunes into this later, yes, this was directed at you, and I'm waiting for you to clip it eagerly so we can talk about it on Discord.
This sounds like the worst multiplayer.
I think it's something that was conceptually amazing and then executed poorly with bad friends who don't coordinate well. But I think if you do it with like one other person, it's actually probably really, really good. 4 people is just a hot mess. But what's kind of cute is the way they sort of facilitate the extra people is they give you like little workhouse sheds, like cabins or whatever on the farm. Like really ghetto houses.
Okay. Yeah, there used to be a Final Fantasy, I think it was Crystal Chronicles, that like you had to play with friends. And I just thought it was a terrible idea to force this RPG like chain of games where you could just peacefully sit and play your story alone. I thought it was a terrible idea they tried to force you to play with friends. I know that sounds very bad of me to say, but
yeah, interacting with people sucks.
And like, who really had a GameCube, to be honest? Ugh. I didn't even have one until it was already dead.
So I had an Xbox and my friend got a GameCube and we swapped it for a week just so we could play the other games. Dude, I fell in love with Metroid super hardcore. And like, this is during my face. I'm listening to like Evanescence and shit. Like just having the emo time playing like Metroid. It was so good. I actually don't have any fond memories other than like, until like Halo 3 came out was like the next time I really enjoyed a game that much. I was always sad I never had the GameCube after that.
Well, you can buy them for like $60. So, if you ever want one.
I'm not gonna get one nowadays. If you see the graphics on those things, are awful. Revolutionary for the time, of course, but the one thing I don't think, the one thing I could not, if I had to play a GameCube today, the reason I wouldn't be able to, is I can't stand the it's like the cube would like unroll for like their logo and play that annoying tune.
I kind of remember that. As I said, I seriously didn't play it. I bought it when I was in college. It was already years after it was released, like 5 years after release, I guess. So, played one game. I don't even remember what it was. Metroid, probably.
Actually, I say another game till Halo 3, but Kingdom Hearts is pretty good too. I just ended up playing Kingdom Hearts like really later.
Oh, I'm so worried Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be too obnoxious to play. I'm not even sure it's going to be bad. You know, like I think it'll be a playable game with an okay story, voice acting, whatever. I just think it'll be too confusing to really enjoy.
I'm actually, more than the gameplay, I'm really excited and anticipating the reactions of people who didn't play like the 7 games they've put out for the
Exactly.
Because like the trailer already shows they're making references to it.
Oh my god. I didn't. I thought things got way too anime weeaboo. It's not even that there was too many games to play. That wasn't my excuse. I just hated how like.
Dude, so so is Aqua not best girl for you then? Aqua is best girl.
I don't even know. I played Chain of Memories and I tried playing some other one and I was just like, I give up.
Alright, by the way, I guess this is one valid time where we should talk about the game and be criticized for not doing it. This is a pretty important attack that hit at a very early timing and Solar is not handling it. That queen gets me 6 health, the Reaper's gonna hunt her down. Slay the dragon! Yeah.
This was such an early attack. It's not surprising that Solar was surprised by it. Like, it's one of the earliest Hellbound attacks you can really do. He's gonna follow it up with +1 very quickly and a couple of cyclones.
Oh, its positioning was so dang. To kill the hatchery, this was totally worth it for Gumiho. Gets the queen and a hell of a lot of lings. This sets Solar back quite a bit.
Yeah. Very nice attack. Exactly what Gumiho was hoping for. Sometimes that attack happens and it's so few units, it looks almost silly. Like, why'd you even bother? But that was pretty perfect. And now Solar doesn't really have much to say in the counter. He lost most of his army, didn't make much army. Just gonna try and macro out of this.
I think I expected the hatchery to maybe go down if Solar ran out of units. It's just kind of crazy that Solar had units reinforcing actively and the hatchery still went down. so many times that attack just like trades out for queens. Mineral for mineral cost, the end.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So very nice start here for Gumiho in game number 3. The winner of this, as a reminder, goes on to face Impact. Best of 5. All the good jazz.
Still got the grand finals coming up. And of course that bait / beg, subtle beg, mostly bait. If any of those 3 goals I listed earlier that we keep talking about throughout the cast get met, we'll do some free-for-all brawls at the end of the stream too. But if we don't, I'm also very happy just sleeping. So, you know, you guys do you and we'll catch you on the rebound.
Catch you on the flip side. What does that even mean?
Well, there's that team flipside tactics. They might know.
I don't think they would know very much.
This attack's still kind of awkward. I think Gumiho's really pressing his luck with this. The Cyclones are actually dealt with very quickly. The helmets maybe are going to be a bit of a problem. New Cyclones on the front line. They've changed that. Oh boy. It all changed when the Fire Nation attacked. That's actually the description of this game too. Those Hellbats are doing work. Taking what they need to.
Alrighty
We
then.
get a TVC Finals! Yes!
Good job, Gumiho. Good job.
Yeah, I don't think I would have minded Solar versus Impact. I think that would have been a really good series. But on the other hand, I was really stoked for Gumiho, so we'll see how this plays out. Impact has actually been killing all kinds of really top tier Koreans lately, whether it's Zest or Hero or Ragnarok or anyone else. Like, now we get to see what his metal is tested against for Terran, and Gumiho's a mighty good Terran. So we got a best of 5 grand finals coming up for you for the Alima League. Zombie Grubs, Cat Blazer, super cute, but probably farting. And we're going to go to a commercial break. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you soon.